Hey, my name is Lesli Podorf, and I would like to share with you my story. I grew up in a home where both of my parents were alcoholics. My mom was the type of alcoholic that was dependent upon alcohol. She was extremely depressed, distant, and disconnected from all life and relationships. My dad was the type of alcoholic that became very angry. He was violent and unsafe when he drank. Growing up in this type of environment, everything was scary and fearful, and I was disconnected from both my parents and anything meaningful in life. There was no love or affection or tenderness, no hope, no security. There was no safe place at home. And this brought about great fear, distrust, hopelessness, and insecurity in my life. I found myself always longing for what I saw other kids had. My friends at school began inviting me to church, and I didn't understand why I should go or why I even needed to. But after many, many invitations, I finally gave in. And I began hearing about this guy named Jesus and his deep love for me. I was utterly amazed. I heard of his immeasurable love for me by dying on the cross so that I would have life. And I wanted this love so desperately. After hearing about this Jesus, I wanted him. What would it take to get this? So I talked to the pastor after church one day, and I asked Jesus to come into my life, to forgive me of my sins. I did not fully understand what this meant or what I even needed to do next until many months later. I went to a conference and heard even more about Jesus. It all clicked. I finally got it. I realized what my life was all about. I cried out to God saying, God, I realize that this life is not about me. It's about you. I realized that God wanted me to surrender myself to him, to not hold anything back, but to give myself fully to him. So that night, I said, God, I give all of me to you. Take me and do as you desire with me. Well, from here, things got drastically worse at home. There's a lot more fighting and screaming, deeper and far greater insecurity, and a deep need I had for peace and love in the midst of all of this chaos and pain. I remember putting on Christian music that a friend had given me. I was trying to drown out the violence that I was hearing from my parents. And I began laying on the floor, crying out to God, curling up in a ball and asking God to hold me, to be near to me, to bring me peace and love amidst all this fear and pain. And right there, I began to fall in love with Jesus. He became my everything. This happened over and over and over with all the violence that was happening at my house. So I continued day after day, night after night, crying out to God. And I developed a deep love relationship with him. He filled the void that I so desperately had. He became the one I looked to find love. He became the one I looked to find security, hope, peace, and purpose in this life, to have meaning. I began to read his word and pray it over my life, asking God to change me and make me more like him. And little by little, day after day, God began changing my life. And now I just want others to experience Jesus the way I have, to realize that there's something greater than all of our troubles, one that walks with us through our troubles and brings us hope, love, security, and peace and purpose in this life.